folks. Welcome back to the Get Ready for 2021 series. What we're looking at is ways to help accommodation owners get more direct bookings, get ready for 2021, and get their businesses in ship shape. Today, I'm very excited to welcome Nancy McAleer to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Awesome. Nancy, I'm just reading through my notes. You're the owner of AMI Home Rentals. You're the co-founder of Florida Rental by Owners, which is an online niche vacation rental listing website. Tell us a bit more about who you are, where you're from, and then we'll talk to everyone about what we'll be talking about today.
Okay, so I'm living in Montreal with my family, but my rentals are actually in another country. They're in Florida of the United States. And I have 3 rentals, 4 and 5 bedroom homes that are on the waterfront in our little island of Florida. And then I'm also a co-founder of Florida Rental by Owners, which, like you said, is a regional vacation rental listing site. That's a book direct listing site for owners in the state of Florida. So we started that initiative about 3 years ago, and it's going really well. In addition to that, I also am a contributing writer to Vacation Rental Marketing blog with Matt Landau. I've been writing for him for a little while, as well as a trainer at VR Master Bootcamp, which happens in the United States here for training initiatives for vacation rental owners who want to kick up their game a little bit. So I do that, and you'll hear me around the industry at various podcasts and stuff. So yeah, I'm around.
That's amazing. So why Florida? I've got to ask.
So for us, it's freezing cold in Canada right now. I think it's 5 degrees today, Celsius, and we needed a place that is really ideal to vacation to. We want to retire there someday, and I did a lot of analysis. I think for about a year to find the right place for us based on how we can fly into Florida from Montreal, and what we were looking for we really love boating and outdoor activities, kayaking and paddleboarding, stuff like that. So it was just the perfect place for us, a little island with no crime, and great place to bring up the kids when we go on vacation there, and someplace we'll grow old at. So that was the whole reason behind Anna Maria Island for us.
Right. Okay. So you guys started in Florida, or just started with one place and then kind of fell in love with it, and then started to build a bit more of a business around it.
Yeah, in our first year, we just thought we were going to cover our expenses. And then after we did some renovations to make it what we wanted, when we vacationed to our home, we would put in a backyard beach and tiki huts and a hammock and all that fun stuff to make it really resort-like. And then the first year after that, it was just like, bing, this is a business. It was just started renting out like crazy.
And how long ago was that?
That was in 2011. So it was a great time for Canadians to buy in the United States because the dollar was stronger Canadian wise. And then it was just, an opportunity came up to buy another house. So we went for it with our business partners. We own our homes with our best friends. And then a third house came up. The next door neighbor said that she wanted to sell. So it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up. It was just meant to be, I guess. It was really fun. And for me, it's a passion. I love it. I love the hospitality business. I love all aspects of it. Because you wear a lot of hats, right? As an owner, you are into marketing, you're into design, you're into, the financials, and you make a lot of decisions about how you want to run your business your way. So it's for me, it's a lot of fun. I love it.
Yeah. And look, I think that was something that really struck me about the way that you talk about the customer experience and the guests an awful lot. So I think that you've got the business side of it. So looking after making sure that you're making money, but I don't hear many people talk about the guests the way that you actually do, and their experience and how they're feeling, their enthusiasm, their excitement. And I think that that's what everyone's going to get out of today's session. You will impart, and I'm sure that you always do, all of that enthusiasm and all of that knowledge that will help people actually make a better guest experience. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Now, folks, if you are watching live, then say watching live, let us know what accommodation you're from. If you're watching on the replay, same thing. Let us know where you're from that you're watching on the replay. Please ask any questions. We may answer it during this session. We may also answer it in the chat box below, or we can even answer it a week or two later on. That's not a problem at all. And Nancy is more than happy to answer those questions because I know that one, it's going to be better for you, and then it also gives us reflection points in terms of things that people are commonly asking, which is really useful. So today we're going to be talking about emails. And look, emails can seem like, I guess, a bit of a boring topic, but it's not at all. What we were talking about, Nancy, is that email is one of the most effective and one of the cheapest ways to actually communicate with your customers. And there's two sides of it. One is you can increase or improve the customer experience. And the other side of it is you can generate more revenue from it. So those are the two parts that are really important for you to get ready for 2021. So does that sound about right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just tying it all into the guest experience, like you said before, it's now's the best time when you're just gearing up for the big season coming up. It's a great time for you to really hone in on what your past guests have really wanted to engage in your area, and really creating amazing content that will cater to that future guest who becomes your avatar, so to speak, like your core guests who are looking for different kind of experiences while they stay with you. So email marketing is a great way to really push that information out, get a lot more engagement. And like you said, it's super cost effective. It's the best marketing channel for return on investment. And you get the really great engagement as long as you're giving really good content and great user experience. The open rate will be fantastic. Yeah.
And I think that the driving term as well, because we call it email marketing, but I think for everybody, you really need to not think of it as marketing or sales. They kind of go hand in hand, those two terms to me. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as a way of actually improving somebody's life or helping somebody out rather than trying to market to someone. No one wants to be sold to or marketed to, but they do want to have things that are useful to them. So that's the mindset that you need to start to adjust to when you're thinking about this. So don't get put off by the fact that we're going to be talking about marketing. It's not about that. It's all about actually how do we communicate effectively with our previous clients and whatever they look like and whatever they're going to look like, and create a narrative and a story that sort of surrounds it. So Nancy, tell me a little bit about, I guess let's start off with the email marketing side. So what are we talking about?
So email marketing is it's you receive emails from all the companies that you enjoy, that you believe in, and that you like. So it's a very easy way to connect with your tribe, so to speak. Those people who are enjoying your product have either come in contact with you through your social channels or through your website. You may not know them, or you may know them as a past guest or another guest who's referred you to them. So, I mean, there's different ways to market emails. There's what I call one-shot newsletters, which might be something like, I mean, there's so many topics you can engage with them. And it's like, you could do a poll of like, what's your favorite beach? Or giveaway contests are good to get lots of engagement and increase your followers and subscribers. You could do last minute deals, of course, are the best ones.
Before we go further, just to be a little bit more practical for people, because I really enjoy that in events. If people go, oh, I'm going to go do that. When you say giveaways, do you have anything in mind that you're like, oh, those are really good ones? Because I've seen some really good ones. I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, so one of my best ones was actually when I invited in a group of bloggers that stayed in one of my rentals. So there was, I think, about 5 of them. So they all came in and they all wrote about their stays in their own following. And I was able to capture all of their followers in terms of, their experiences at my home and how I hooked them up with, local experiences and things like that. So when they finished those articles, we decided, okay, well, let's give away a, vacation to somebody for, the same amount of time that they came so that they can experience the same thing. So it was leveraging all of these bloggers that had stayed in my home, all of their followers, all of their social followers, all of their followers on newsletter marketing, all of their followers on their blog. And it was just this massive engagement that we had for a
So
giveaway.
you
And
pushed the
it got,
giveaways back through to the bloggers. So you said, "Hey, bloggers! Not only do we want you to blog about it, but we're going to do a giveaway which relates back to what you're blogging about, so everybody kind of wins, and they don't look like they're just selling whatever through the blog. They're actually adding value to their audiences and forcing them also to really communicate effectively with their audience." Is that right?
yeah, exactly. So I gained subscribers, I gained new followers. I leveraged all of their who their niche market was, and it just aligned with mine, which is great. And then I was able to provide somebody that may not have been able to afford a vacation at my home this really special experience that I again wrote about, communicated about, leveraged, so I could explain it to a lot of people that were following me too. So that was probably the biggest impact that I could make as a
And
giveaway contest. And it was a giveaway for, I think it was only 5
I'll
days.
give everyone a top tip around that. The key around this is partnerships. So you partnering with a blogger, but you could do the same with the local restaurant owner or the hot air balloon company or the guys that rent jet skis or whatever it might be within your category. You can team up with them and do the same sort of engagement and giveaway, and then communicating to each other's audiences to help grow your particular business.
Yeah, I mean, when the bloggers come, you want to make sure that you give them options. So you reach out to your local vendors and see if they have anything to give to them, like gift certificates or free meals or whatever. And then when we put it together, packaged in the giveaway, it was exactly what you're saying: partnerships to make a really great experience for the customer who was, a giveaway customer, but she probably told, I think, probably 1,000 people after that she won this giveaway. So you're leveraging
Yeah.
so many people to start following, and your brand is getting out there, and you're working with people that are close to you, and then you get it back. So the people that got a mention in those blog articles by somebody else, that they're going to be the first ones to help me out when I have to call them up and say, hey, I really need a gift certificate for a disgruntled guest who's upset about construction noise outside. Can you help me out? And they'll give me a discounted rate on a gift certificate I have to buy, whatever. So it's like you said, a lot of partnerships, networking. It really helps you maximize your business.
And okay,
Really.
so I'm going to digress. We're probably going to run way over time, but that's okay because when the content becomes good, it drives itself. Just so bloggers or Instagrammers, quite interchangeable in terms of that kind of method. How do you find bloggers in that that you think are going to work for you?
So there's a lot of ways to find bloggers. You can go onto blog aggregators. You can go onto Facebook groups and find out if there's any bloggers in there that might want to network with you. And I mean, you really do have to check out who you're going to be working with to make sure that their followers align with your ideal guest, like your
Right.
client. So you want to make sure it's the same age and who they are, what they're interested in. So in that respect, you want to kind of align that way. So it's just good old fashioned outreach.
Yeah. But so you it's in a blogging aggregator. How would you Google blogging aggregator?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head on this one, but I think like she loves blogging is one, or that's for female bloggers. Um, there's a lot of Facebook groups out there too, specifically for bloggers, and then maybe bloggers in your specific country would be really great.
Mm,
If you're looking at a domestic traveler. So
that's
it's
just
just kind
gold.
of like reaching out. Yeah, you're kind of
Gold. Yeah.
digging. You're digging for gold.
Yeah. So all right, cool. So right, so you find them thing. All right, cool, great. I think are we happy with that? That yeah, cool. All
Yeah.
right. Let's keep going. Um, so we've got so yeah, you were talking about different things you can do within the emails.
Yeah. So, I mean, these one shot newsletters, there's so many ideas, right? That you can talk about, um, festivals, events, not so much now with the pandemic, but, different things. Like you can even do reviews of your favorite restaurants and have like, or whatever's in your blog content. Like, I have insider guides for certain things that are activities in my area. So for example, kayaking is my next one I want to get out. And, you might want to talk about that and put that into a newsletter, but maybe it just doesn't mean to be that information of only that. Maybe you want to add into it a little bit and make it a little more exciting, where you put in like a whole video. Maybe you want a drone video and you can actually put that into the email marketing. And more people open videos that are in emails, especially if you have it in your subject line about, latest video of this location. It's like 96% opening. It's like bananas. It's so crazy with video now. So you put that in there. You could put your exciting, kayaking guide where you want them to click through that call to action to land on your page. And then you maybe want to include like special VIP offer, to stay or to book, this package that you've got selling now, which might be a stay and a kayak experience, things like that. I mean, the ideas are endless. It's only your imagination of how you can make the newsletter really something that's ideal for your client, a fantastic experience that's really going to knock their socks off and want them to like click through and say, yeah, I want to go there now. Like I want to book with you now. Or if they can't do it now, they're going to think about that experience over and over and over again and want to go and book with you later.
I think a really good one is now that because things are so changeable with the pandemic, a lot of people don't know what's happening in your particular area where your accommodation is. So they don't know whether the cafes and the restaurants are open or whether the cinema's open or the vineyards or the beaches or, whatever it might be. So it's a good talking point if you look ahead and you might be thinking, all right, 2021, what's coming up in January? What's coming up in February? What's coming up in March? What do people normally travel for? What's happening in Easter time? What do we think is going to be open? And start to communicate that with your guests and just go, hey guys, we know it's Christmas coming up, or we know that there's this season, but if you plan ahead, this is what we expect to be open. And that alone is a really good engagement point because people might go, I wasn't going to go, I wasn't planning on it. And then all of a sudden you're using this email marketing tool to sort of get through to them. The one thing that,
and you can segment, just to pop onto that too, Bart, is that you can segment your list too. Like if you think about, you want to segment your list now, thinking about it with the pandemic in mind, where, your followers are, if this follower is from this location. For me, I track where all my guests are coming from. So that's one thing that I can do and easily segment that list to only, my domestic market I want to send this message to. And then if, like you said, once things start opening up, then I'm going to open up to the entire subscribers contact list. And then that message might be different going forward. Absolutely. Yeah. And just creating that content about, what to expect, what's happening now is fantastic communication. That's what we need now, is communication about what's happening, what's open, what's not open. What are the protocols, what to expect? Is it safe? Is it not, and communicating that honestly really will build trust with your followers.
Particularly as well around how many guest numbers you're allowed in the place. Everyone assumes that your guests will know, that they just won't know, and they won't be as up to date as you are in your particular business. I think if we take one step back and we look at get ready for 2021, some people might say, oh, I've already got my email marketing and I've got all of this stuff sorted. The one part of getting ready for 2021 is I think that there's this opportunity for innovation with the email content that you're putting out there. So a lot of these rules are things that we're talking about kind of are a bit standard, but now you can actually adapt it to the situation that we're in and leverage it to reconnect with your community and to create engagement that is kind of way better than all of your competitors and way better than everybody else. So they'll still be stuck on what was happening in the past, but you can sort of start to push forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you could put in a video, and this is what's been successful for me about, right now the trend is you want to offer social distancing activities and social distancing experiences, right? So that's something that you want to be able to really bundle into maybe one of your email marketing for the short term of 2021, like just in January, um, where you're showing them, okay, this is all the things that you can do, and this is why the vacation rental that I have is really safe. You're self-isolating, you're using your own kitchen unit, you're not sharing with multiple people in a hotel. So maybe like that's kind of the messaging you want to send out on the shorter term. But maybe in Christmas time, you may want to think about, okay, if people are not able to get to me right now and my borders are closed, then maybe I need to think about putting through or together some kind of gift certificate program, or that I could still make revenue on now, but that they can enjoy later on. So, that kind of thought process, definitely. You want to kind of plan it out and say, okay, well, here's some thoughts. You don't have to be, too methodical about it. But definitely, okay, Christmas time, maybe I'll do gift certificates. And then maybe in January, I'll do this whole idea of like self-isolation activities. And I want to focus on that and packaging together in a guest experience, even in that email newsletter, is going to be the difference between you and somebody else. And it's going to be the difference between you getting more opens and you getting more business from it compared to what you regularly see from retailers and places like that.
And how often should we be doing this?
So I'm terrible at sending out emails in terms of regularity. I only send out emails when I've got something really good to say. So for me, it might be once every month or once every 2 months. It just depends. And also my need based on my business. Because I mean, I have 92% occupancy even in this year.
Right.
So it's been really, it's been good. But it depends on your business. It depends on your end goal of what you want to say, what you want to do, and why. Because are you trying to get vacancies filled? What does that message have to be based on the environment that you've got now? And will you be offering special rates, things like that? And how are you going to package it up so that it's going to be successful and people are going to want to purchase it, because it's got to be the right price, the right product at the right time, right? So you got to think about those things.
And one of the things I'd really recommend for everybody is don't stress too much about sending too many emails to people. People get a lot of emails anyway. The chances of someone actually seeing your email and opening it are quite low. So, open rates can be anywhere from, 10% up to 50%. If you're at 50% open rate, it's pretty good. It really depends on your category. But don't be afraid to send too many. As long as you've got some sort of an effective message to actually put through, you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it, but the regularity and being front of mind is very useful for you, and especially if they know that once they open the first email, they go, yep, that one's quite useful. Then when you send the next one, it's going to work. If you send one or two that aren't great, then when they open the third or the fourth, they're not going to open the third or fourth one because you've already kind of damaged them at that particular point. It's not because of the volume of it; it's the message that you put across in the message more than anything. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And I think that that's a really good segue into once you've sent the email, it's not a send and forget. You're just waiting for those bookings to come in. That you have to really kind of take a look at the analytics of how successful was it. Did you get click-throughs on your call to action buttons? Did you get any, calls for bookings or emails or responses back to book or for more information or quotes? So you do have to kind of analyze what you've done in the past to see, okay, was it successful and how can I make it better if it needs to be better, or how can I do that again if it was really successful? So for me, it was, the whole experience of like the videos with the message. For me, that's been my kind of recipe on how successful it is. That people just are kind of like craving some kind of stress relief right now. And those videos really help.
Yeah, I bet. So we're looking at analytics. We're looking at unsubscribe rates as well. If you've got ones that are sort of unusually high, we want to identify where we went wrong. Click-through rates. Click-through rates are interesting because there are emails that you can have one link and then you get a high click-through rate, or you have 20 links and then your click-through rate gets quite affected by that. What kind of analytics are you kind of really? So you said like how many people are booking, but what are kind of big red flags or things? How do you know if it's going well?
So for me, it's when, if I share the newsletters, I can also see if I get more subscribers because of that. So I not only share it through my contact list, but I can also share it through all my social channels to say, hey, there's my latest newsletter, click to join. So if I want to see increases in subscribers, that's one. What else do I have here? Increased sales, whether I get those bookings. Referrals are good too. If people are referring me out to other people based on, oh, I saw your newsletter from a friend. I can see I have those questions coming in when people come to my website, and they can say how they found me. And then, just like you said, like analyzing what's getting clicked through on, and then just rinse and repeat, but with a really good message, not the same message over and over again.
Another top tip from me is when you're doing your emails, make sure that you don't put too many links in there. Have one or two calls to action, no more than that. Just the same way that if you're designing an effective website, you've got the book now button and then maybe some other ways to lead people everywhere else, but really it's the main driver is book now. And if it isn't,
Yeah.
and I question, then we can go into a much bigger debate. Anyone wants to challenge me on that? happy to have those discussions. But really, the website is for one thing, and that is to get bookings. It's not a business card, point. Right? We're not trying to make ourselves feel good. It's not about branding or anything like that. It is book. So, and the same thing with emails. If you're doing a campaign, for example, the blogging campaign, you probably had one call to action: do this particular thing. That's all I want you to do. If you do too many things, people just get confused and it's overwhelming, and they won't do anything for you.
Yeah, really good point. I mean, not too much text. Most people don't want to read a story. They want to see pictures. They want the buttons to call to action. What we call the landing page, where you send them for the information that they're clicking on, that they're interested in, you want to make sure that the landing page actually has a call to action to book as well. So even if it is something that you're sending them on kayaking guide, you want to be able to have that here. Search your dates, get a quote, book. So important. I've seen that with really, really good email marketing people, where they've sent them to these landing pages, and I'm like, where's the call to action to book? It's not here. Like, I don't get it. So yeah, really important to remember that. Great point.
Cool. Is there, just being mindful of time, because I know that we've got another big topic that we want to sort of get into, and I think that we should definitely, for a higher level, once again, with the theme in mind of what we should be doing to get ready. So if we were to summarize the email marketing in terms of getting ready for 2021, what would you say?
So for me, I like to look at problem solving, and I like to kind of create my content and ideas around that. So if I think back to my guests that I've had in the past, and if they've asked me certain information that I didn't have on my website, then I want to create something that's going to be amazing for them. And then not only creating that on the website, but that's going to stack into your marketing after the fact. So you're creating something, then you're going to get it out through an email format, also blasted on social, and then you're packaging it all up in a stack, what we call a stack. So I think about that. So I think about the problem solving. So for example, if somebody, where am I going to go with this one? So I could talk about like free trolley guide or the top restaurants. Here, this is an easy one for everybody. Anybody can do this. Top restaurants. It's the number one thing people ask when they go to a vacation rental. So make sure that you can do a top restaurant guide. Maybe you've got reviews, your own reviews of that restaurant in there, with all the details that they need to know about, where to go. Is it on a map so they can easily see it? Can they easily find it? So that you can create in the content on the website, and then you can go and you're solving the problem that you're going to be asked every single time by new guests. And it's going to be there, evergreen content that you can use over and over and over again. And then you can create that, and then you can create an email newsletter about it. Maybe you want to take snippets out of it. Maybe you don't want to do a big blast of it and you want to just kind of trickle it out through several emails. You could do it that way, where you're going to do like, oh, here's a review, and you can find it here on this landing page. And then you can get it out that way in terms of things you're thinking about in 2021. So think about problem solving and what you could do and how you can make your guest stay really carefree, amazing, so that they're going to come back to you again and again, and refer you to everybody else, because it's so carefree that they're just getting all the information from you to have their entire vacation be phenomenal.
That's awesome. I really like that. This is an opportunity to look at all those different problems. I love the top restaurants that just came through, because the one thing that came to my mind was, not only can you do it this year, like the top 10, next year you've got a new top 10 or top 5 that you can reuse the same content pretty much word for word. Because the one thing is that most people won't read it all. They might read bits of it. If you reuse it in a year's time or 6 months time, people go, oh yeah, I've got to go and read this. There'll be no skin off your back, and then you're creating something that has more value within your business overall as well, but more value to the customer. It saves you a lot of work in the long run. So all of these tasks are actually beneficial to you and your schedule and your day, rather than not. That's awesome.
Yeah. I want to jump in there on that. Sorry, Mark. Because, I mean, like you said, sorry, I'm such a geek. Anyway, when you do that, like you said, like start with that big top restaurants. And I love that, where you roll it over and you work smarter, not harder. Because I've done a pizza smackdown too, where I've done like, comparing all the pizza restaurants, or the burger smackdown. And I've done even like the trail of treats, where you do, here's all the best places for like donuts and ice cream and stuff like that. So like you said, work smarter, not harder. Yeah. Don't just do one and forget it. Take snippets out of it and make something else.
And you can, and then
a lot easier.
And then especially if we were doing a lot of work on Instagram as well, so you can get a picture or two from that particular place and pop it on, and then you can link it all back up and that sort of thing. So I guess the biggest takeaway, folks, is look at if you haven't got your email marketing list together, get it, pop it into a MailChimp or into other software, get that first email. I would suggest looking at, if it is the first email, just to sort of say, hey, what's going on in the local area? And then you can start to break that down. Don't make it focused on your particular business. The first one, especially, make it focused on what experience they're going to have by being at your place. So you're going to go to the mountains, you're going to go to the city, whatever it might be, so that they can actually make that connection. How do you feel about our next topic? Do we want to go through it, or do we want to leave it for today and tantalize people for next time?
I could give like a little overview, maybe.
Yeah.
And then,
great.
We can go with it next time, because it's deep.
Yeah, it is pretty deep, but it's important. So the next, I guess, side of it, so we're still talking about email, and you've got the email marketing sides. What we're trying to do is we're trying to keep people interested or generate interest in the first place, to generate bookings using email. Of course, a lot of that content does go across all of the social medias, which is effective. But then the other part of it is you have extra opportunities to use email for communication with guests. I think that might be a good lead in.
Yeah. So I have this what I call a guest nurture campaign that I do. And it's a series of automated emails that ties into my entire workflow. So it really makes the guest feel amazingly special. It decreases the amount of work I have to do, because it's, like I said before, it's like a rinse and repeat. These are emails that are templatized, that I use over and over and over and over and over again with each guest that comes in. And then you can definitely leverage the entire booking party, so all the adults in the group. So it's not just the one person that you're sending the nurture campaign to. You can send it to the entire group. So there you're building your email marketing as well. I mean, I have a girlfriend, Tina. She's been doing this for a while. She has one property, just one property. Her email marketing list is 14,000 people.
Wow.
14,000. Wow. Yeah. So if you do it well, you can really make a big impact and just keep your properties fully booked the entire year if that's what you want. So the nurture campaign is kind of cool because it's a series of planned emails that are sent out based on the stage of after their booking. I send out information of what I want them to know, when I want them to know it, and information that might get them to book an experience with my affiliate link. So it increases the dollar per transaction with each booking that I get. It will give them maybe information on how they can access the fitness center, which I offer for free with the local community center. A lot of housekeeping tips, what to pack, what not to pack. All those things are answered in the email marketing. Um, Also, all the guides of what they want to do in terms of different aspects. In my area, people are really into the beaches. They're into riding the free trolley up and down the island. They're into kayaking, boating, fishing, etc. So all that information is kind of trickled out to them over the series of once they've booked. A lot of my guests book very far in advance, so it's easy for me to kind of get it out like upon booking, maybe 2 months before they arrive, a month before they arrive, and then, after they arrive, once they arrive, they stay, then they depart, and then I hit them with the book direct message, which I want to get them to book direct with me,
The next
especially
time.
if they've booked on an OTA, yeah, for next time, so that they can save, on that traveler fee that they paid to maybe VRBO or Airbnb, or a higher rate. And then that book direct message really hones it in on, hey, you can come back to me and save a ton of cash, and you get my VIP rate too. So there's a lot of strategy that I have in place, and also increases my reviews. I ask for reviews at the end and stuff. So it's a really great nurture campaign. It's an entire series that I've got that I utilize with every single guest. And I tell you, they love it. They just can't believe the communication, and it just makes their stay incredibly rich, and they can accomplish all the goals that they wanted to before they arrive, no matter who they are, like in what they're interested in, which is kind of cool.
I think that the nurture campaigns, and this is where I found that the real connection I felt with what you've always said in different talks that I've heard is the guest is super excited when they book. They want to go. They want to have a great time. They've spent the money. There's also, I guess, the concept of buyer's remorse. So you've booked something, then you think you've spent too much money or whatever, and after that, all you're doing is you're justifying your decision for booking or for making a purchase. So by doing these nurture campaigns, what you're doing is you're reinforcing that decision that someone's actually made to book with you. So therefore, they're feeling better about their particular decision. You're riding on their endorphins and on their high from actually booking. And this applies for accommodation. It doesn't matter if you're a small place which is one bedroom, or whether you're a huge hotel. There's so much opportunity with this. I see massive hotel chains not doing any of this. I think of airlines as well that, like they could capture the excitement of someone going away on holiday so much more effectively and make tons of money on it. I do know some airlines that do it well. But just talk about that emotion, if you don't mind, and capturing that, because I thought that was a very important point.
Yeah, so I mean, it is been psychologically studied, and I did come across this study. I can't remember the name of it right now. Sorry, I'll have to get that for you later. But where there's this happiness high that people are on, and I've read as well that it takes somebody 8 hours to make a decision on one property to rent. So they could be talking with other people. They could be talking about with their friends about where they want to go and things like that. So it's a lot to take 8 hours just to press the book now button. And then once they're with you, then they have this whole job of, they're excited. They're so looking forward to it. They've saved probably for a year at least to come visit your location, right? Because most people only get vacation once a year or twice a year max. So you want to ride that happiness high the whole way, and you want to keep them on that high, and make them think that it was like a great decision. So the nurture campaign just kind of are great touch points all the way along, like, just before they're coming. And my guests tell me, I loved watching that video before we got there. It gave me ideas of what to do. And, they get really, really excited. They talk about it to all their friends. So, it's, you're leveraging everybody that they know, which is great. And then, you're still capturing them. The happiness high still lasts when they get home and they talk about it to their friends. They talk about it to their coworkers, etc. So there is that time period where I think it's about a good 4 weeks, 6 weeks after they get back that they're still in the happiness high. So you want to kind of hit that nurture campaign from the time that they are on the high till the time that they're coming down. And even then you want to be that person that is like, oh yeah, you got to go see Nancy. You've got to go stay with her because she will set you up right and you'll have an amazing experience. So you want people to say that about you for sure. And it works. It works.
So the top tips that I would have in terms of, once again, getting ready with this sort of stuff is don't try to what is it, chew the elephant in one go or eat the elephant in one go. Just start off with the first email, which could be a pre-check-in email, and then do the next one, which would be the checkout email, so you can get the reviews, you can get that what you need from them, the book direct message getting through, and then just build it out. And with all the other marketing stuff that we were talking about, you'll find more content to then put into these emails. Once again, keep the emails short and sweet. Don't try to sell them on it again. They've already bought the place. You don't need to. What you're doing is you're trying to get them connected. But just start off by doing one or two. If you don't have a PMS that handles this sort of stuff, then just do it. I think you said that you might do it manually still.
I do manually still because I'm a cheapskate. so So for me, I don't want to pay for the automation in my system. So and it's easy for me. I only have 3 rentals, so I have a system set up where it's easy for me to follow through my workflow and fire them off when I need them to be fired off. So, but it's easy to set up automation. It really is. I mean, even with your basic startup of your email capturing, if you have one of those pop-up boxes on your website to get more subscribers, you can send an automated email right away. That's a thank you email. So it's super easy to do in the software that's out there, like MailChimp, Constant Contact, and
Beautiful.
all those. So
or get onto our PMS.
Yes, exactly.
Look, awesome. Like, just phenomenal things. Very inexpensive to do a lot of these activities. Great in terms of you reviewing what you are doing and making some plans ahead. Start off small and build from there, but also do review those different sides of your business and make a bit of a plan. So if you're going to do anything at the end of this, just make a bit of a plan. Just get off of this and just write down, say, okay, what do I want to do? And you're, all right, actually, I'm going to do some email marketing. Oh, I might do the nurture campaigns, or I'm going to make a bit of a plan for the next 6 months of the problems that I'm going to solve. I'm going to solve them and then maybe write an email, but I can't be bothered, but I'll put it on my social media or whatever. But just start to formulate some sort of a plan. Each business is going to have different, it will be at different stages, and always cater to your avatars. Nancy, is there anything you would like to finish up on? And also, sorry.
Yep.
Is there any way that people can contact you, reach out to you? What's the best way to sort of engage with you?
Yeah, so I was just going to mention that it's easy to capture people's email addresses too. We didn't talk about that very much, but when you can have it on your social media as a little tab for sign up to my newsletter. You can have it on your website, and then even with my own Florida Rental by Owners website. For us, you can capture all of that contact details. So at the very beginning, so you can capture those details to any person that's asking for a quote or an inquiry, which you can't do on the major OTAs like VRBO and Airbnb and stuff. So getting those contact details is really ideal. And then reaching out to them and see if they want to join your newsletter. You do have to get them to opt in. But then starting off there and then building that list. And then, like you said, like take it slow, take it steady, write a few ideas of what you want to accomplish, and then try and work smarter with stacking it in. into different avenues. So you're not working so hard, like you said, Bart, and that you're taking a general concept and then you're going with it from there, and then just spreading it out, and then even taking snippets from that and then making something else. So it's trying to work harder, not harder, but smarter, and it will come very easily. And it is the best return on your investment in terms of any marketing channel you're going to use, because it's free. You get the free contact details from all of these great sources. So if you want to get a hold of me, I'm at Florida Rental by Owners. It's a regional vacation rental listing site. It's Nancy at floridarentalbyowners.com. It's a bit of a mouthful, but that's where you can find me, or just shoot me an email through the contact page there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much once again for joining us. I know it's a little bit late for you over there.
Time for wine.
Yeah, and we just started here, so I can't do that even. Yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking to you again at some stage and working together and going down this journey. Once again, thank you so much. I'm sure that everyone's grateful to have met you today, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for having me, Bart. It was a pleasure. Have a great day.